Monty Roberts, driven to escape an abusive father, Monty found solace as a child with his friends, the wild mustangs of California. His unique insight enabled him to realize that horses communicate in a silent body language he calls equus. It is an insight that has enabled him to help other fragile creatures and many troubled people.
I owe these animals so much. They have been my friends, my providers, my teachers, and the least I can do is to cause them to have a reasonable life.
I hear silent whisper, and I know you're close. I watch your shadow linger, and I feel your ghost. How long, how far do I need to before your splintered heart opens up and takes my
Monty Roberts' mission extends beyond the scope of equestrianism. He uses his unique insights to help all creatures in need. He is often asked to mentor traumatized people, especially children who, like him, have suffered at the hands of abusers. Monty uses stories from his past experiences to bring a message to these children. Through the traumatized eyes of some of the horses that Monty has helped, he has learnt to detect pain and find ways to cure it. One such horse was Blushing E.T.
I want to tell you a story that I feel might be interesting to all of you, because I think as I tell this story, you can relate to it in your own life. I think you'll be able to see what we call a metaphor or connection to your lives and this story. There was a horse that was born, around about 1999 or 2000, something like that. And he was born in Florida. And he grew up there, running in the fields, eating grass, and he loved his mother, and his mother loved him, and all the normal things that happen in the growing up of a young horse. And he was a kind of a smart aleck, cheeky little guy that sort of ruled the pasture, huh? And he was always an aggressive kind of big, strong guy. Good, healthy kid. And then they sent him off to a trainer. I met the trainer. Great big guy. Lots of gray hair and strong, you know. And he acted strong, like he wanted you to know he was strong, huh? And he trained this horse. And the horse didn't do all the things that all the other horses did. He wasn't as easy to put the saddle on and to put the jockey on. He was always trying to buck the jockey off or get it, you know, get loose, things like that. So they began to treat him in a more harsh way because he needed to learn his lessons, they said. We've got to show him who's boss. And he started to fight back. He said, you're not going to break me. You're not going to make me bow down to you. Now, think about this one. You, especially you boys who are big and strong. He weighed 1,200 pounds. 1,200 pounds. More than 10 times the size of most human beings. And if he wanted to run 100 yards, some of you guys will know this, he could run 100 yards in 4:5. Huh? We have world's champions that run it in 9:8. So he could run 100 yards twice as fast as any human. That's how fast he was. That's how big he was. We're not talking about 1,200 pounds of fat now. He was a big, strong horse. How are you going to have a fight with him? Well, you have a fight with him by getting a lot of people and using whips and things like this. And they named him Blushing E.T. One of the things that they asked this horse to do was to go out on a racetrack and then go into this little thing they call a starting gate or starting stall. And maybe you've seen it on television in races, but the horse has to walk in this little thing that's about that wide. And the gate is closed in front of his nose like this, and it's closed, boom, up right behind his hips like that. So he's in this thing like we would be in a very small phone booth, huh? And it's all metal, and it's rattling a lot, and he's scared to death in there because they are claustrophobic. They don't like to be in tight places like that. And there's some ledges in there to protect the jockey's feet, but they're hitting him on these sides. And they put him in there, and then they open the thing up fast and pow, 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 make him run as fast as he can down the racetrack. And then, about 3 or 4 days later, they bring him back to the starting gate. And they say, Blushing E.T., you're going in there again, and you're going to do this again. And he said, no, I'm not going in there again, and I'm not doing this again. There's no way. So he got beat up. And ultimately, he went over backwards, and his lead broke. And he got up and he ran away from the training center there in Florida. Down the road he went. They had to catch him way down the road. And then he got a whipping for that. So now he was becoming angry. And his Blushing E.T., in his mind, he's saying, nobody's being fair with me at all. This is crazy and I don't want to do this. And this horse learned how to get maybe 20 yards from the starting stall and then throw himself on the ground. He just slammed himself on the ground. All 1,200 pounds. Boom. And he's lying there on the ground and he watches the people around him. And he waits to see, are they going to get close enough? And when they get close enough, bam, he tries to bite him and kick him, anything he can do. And they couldn't put him in the starting stall. They couldn't even get him close to the starting stall. So a company from Toronto, Canada, happened to be looking for the meanest horse in the world. And they found the meanest horse in the world. And this is the story of the meanest horse in the world. This company, a television company from Toronto, wanted to make me a challenge. Mr. Roberts, they said on the phone, we have found the meanest horse in the world. And we want to transport him from Florida to California, to your farm, near Solvang. And we want to see if you can fix him.
Blushing E.T. was America's most disturbed horse. Described by all who knew her as a basket case. Abused and frightened, ready to kill. Had Monty Roberts met his match?